Want to do this to Corey? She's right there. Okay.
You waving that? All right, we'll get started. Should be in just a second at 6 o'clock, so we'll get started and call the meeting to order. And Mike, would you do the pledge? And Miss Whitley's going to do the invocation. So if you rise with me, please.
Pledge allegiance
To
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for allowing us to meet and try to make good decisions for our city. We ask you, dear Lord, to just take care of our employees and just watch over us. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank y'all. All right, roll call, please, ma'am. We know Pam's not going to be here due to bad case of strep throat, apparently. Hey, Corey.
You want me to go ahead and do
You're
the roll call?
fine. You are just
You want me to go
fine.
ahead and do roll call?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Bill White,
Yes.
Jacqueline Granberry.
Here.
Mike Davis.
Here.
Willie Alderson.
Here.
Pam Johnson's absent.
Yep.
Is she gonna do Zoom still, Kate?
She's too sick to even do that.
Too
Yeah.
sick to even
Thanks.
think.
I meant to tell you that. All right. Now's the time. Add the,
Oh,
suspend the rules,
I thought you was gonna move it down here.
but you have to
You
say
go
it up
ahead
here.
and
Oh, okay. I make a motion to suspend the rules to add the sewage model to F
11F.
11F.
All right, we have a motion to suspend the rules to add an item to 11F.
And just to mention, that was something that, it was a miscommunication between Teresa and I. I asked her to remove the price tag off of the agenda just because it was on there for the study session. And she thought I meant to remove the whole thing, but you already heard Matthew Johnson discuss it and the need for it. But
And we'll get down to it down here in new
yeah,
business. So
that's why.
we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Got a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Got 2 sets of minutes from the study session of the 10th and the regular meeting of the 15th. Entertain a motion once you've had an opportunity to review if you have not already.
I make a motion to accept the study session August the 10th and the regular meeting August the 15th.
Got a motion to accept the minutes. Do we have a second? Got a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Awards, presentations, and appointments, mayor's appointments. Mount Pleasant Housing Authority, we're going to add Roy Bullock, which I think will be a great asset. And Derek Boyd will be remaining on.
Reappointed.
And these are 5-year terms. For then on the planning commission, we've got Bobby Nutt, which has done a great job for us on the planning group, and that is a 3-year position. So entertain a motion for those 2 different commissions.
Do them together or separate?
I'm fine together. You, Corey?
Either way.
If you're all in agreement,
Okay.
it's
You're all in agreement.
Y'all-
If we start splitting hairs, we need to separate them.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept the mayor's appointment for as presented for the Mount Pleasant Housing Authority and the Planning Commission.
Got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Completion and review of unfinished business. Ordinance 2023-1117. Public hearing and final reading ordinance of the city of Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget and tax rate for the year beginning July the 1st, 2023 and ending June 30th, 2024. We've heard from Schiffer on more than one occasion that all she's adding is what's the whereases and the,
well, the template that the comptroller required that you can barely read, it's so small,
Yeah.
but our budget was approved just to make sure that we would add it this way. And this is the second reading and it's a public hearing. And I think, and I've told you at every meeting, the numbers haven't changed. Everything's the same. We just changed the template per their request.
The items we had as attachments are actually part of the ordinance, and going forward, they still want the attachments, but they also want everything as part of the ordinance too. They keep doing it the same way in the future.
move the ball. Where does it belong?
Right.
All right, this is also a final reading and a public hearing. Anyone here in the audience care to speak on this? Please let the minutes reflect no one did. That entertain a motion for approval.
I make a motion to accept ordinance 2023-1117.
Got a motion, do we have a second? I'll second it. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
No.
You just adding those.
It's the same budget.
It's the
Yeah.
exact same budget. The only thing
I
we're
said
doing
they
is,
asked me.
And I have voted no every time, Mayor.
okay,
The budget's approved, this is just.
I know it, I realize it's just I don't know,
what do we do, Corey?
So if we have not approved, if we haven't complied with their conditions and we haven't approved a budget, we don't have a budget
That's correct.
We've been using it all.
that we've been
But-
using and that we
but
are
they
in
came-
violation.
But they came back and said that this here had to be added.
They just wanted to change the format.
Yeah.
That's
Nothing
what,
more.
that's what needs to be put.
And that's what's in front of you. It's the exact same numbers and it's just changed the format.
But I'm
It
not-
already passed through the commission.
But I'm not for the budget.
It's already
You're
passed.
changing, you're
budget
either
already
for or
passed.
against the format.
The budget's already passed, we're using it, the financials you guys are getting every month already is the
What is,
budget that
what
we
is,
have.
what does it say?
This is the.
What does it say? An ordinance of the city of Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget and tax rate for the fiscal year beginning July the 1st, 2023, and ending June the 30th, 2024.
Yeah, it is the budget. This is
Yes, it's the
we
budget.
passed the budget. It
With a
passed
different
before
ordinance number.
with the different ordinance number. Then we got comments from the comptroller, is that where it came from? That said, we understand, but we can't accept it unless it's in this proper format. So we put it in the proper format. I understand what you're saying, but I just want y'all to know potential implications of us not having a budget passed in September
This-
is a problem.
What you're saying needs to be added to
It's in the
that.
first paragraph.
And
It says in the ordinance that the
Yes.
budget was approved by ordinance.
it doesn't say that on here.
It does, in your attachment.
The actual ordinance's first paragraph says the budget was approved by the ordinance 2023.
You wanna look at my copy?
All right,
1111.
now, let me go to it. I'm just going by what's on this
That
right
need to
here.
be printed right
It's
there.
in there that it was approved.
Yes,
What do they have in her?
Right here.
here.
The actual ordinance.
The first whereas. The first whereas.
Very first
Yeah.
whereas.
Yeah, that's what I was pointing out to Mike. It's that very first paragraph.
I mean, I just don't understand why I just don't say that instead of going back and saying the whole
Because
budget.
that's the title of the, I guess that's how.
You know, I hate to,
Well, I don't think we as a community want to be in September without a budget,
Right.
because then we are opening
Bill,
ourselves up.
when I,
Look, Mike, can I finish without you interrupting, please?
you go right ahead, Mayor.
Thank you.
You gonna say what you gonna say anyway.
And you are too.
And I am.
And if you don't become more businesslike in this, I am going to take action.
Take
Number-
action, Bill.
That'll be fine, Mike. Just
Take it.
cool it.
Take it.
Cool it.
You cool it.
Trying to run this city with some decorum and some business.
And let's debate it.
Do we have the comment from the comptroller, like the actual letter?
I think we forwarded the emails, yeah.
It's before the
So
email.
I think if we read that, it will clarify that exactly what they told us to do.
Yes.
And so yes, the numbers are back in front of you, but it really truly is just the format.
Just go ahead and I'll say what I gotta say as I go through it.
Okay, I gotta find it.
I'll just say I'm not for the budget, but according to the comptroller's office, I will accept what they said.
Did you vote no for the budget the first time?
Yes.
Okay, so
That's already
that
recorded.
is already in the
Recorded.
minutes.
You're on record for that.
Yes.
With the ordinance number 2023-1111, the nay votes would have applied to that in the meeting minutes for the month of June. So if we go back and pull you the minutes for the month of June, your vote for the budget is in there.
And we can add at this point that you are voting yes for the amendment to comply, but
Yeah.
you're
For the form.
still,
Right, that's what,
Yes.
and I done that the last time on the first reading.
that's okay.
Well, we
have
only have 4 commissioners
With two
here.
and two, it wouldn't pass.
So I received the document from the comptroller's office on July 21st. I think I received it on the 22nd. I forwarded it to the commission, I think that same week. And then the document itself said Dear Mayor White and Board of Commissioners, this letter acknowledges that the receipt of a certified copy of the fiscal year 24 budget before we continue to review of the budget. The governing body must take the following required actions within 90 days of the date of this letter, or the budget will not be approved. We have received, and then it says approval conditional on budget amendment. It said, based on our review, we are conditionally approving the budget as described below. Our review of the budget is based solely on the information that we received. The city must submit ordinance number 2023-1111 for our review. The ordinance indicates Exhibit A, B, C, and Exhibit D. None of the supporting documents has any corresponding labels to indicate part of the ordinance. The detailed budget does not qualify as the ordinance. So that's what we're doing, is putting the budget as part of the ordinance, because this section says because we attach them as exhibits, the exhibits are not part of the ordinance. They're attachments. They don't like attachments. That's pretty much what it says. And then they tell us the municipal budget law of 1982 applies to any municipality that does not have a budget provision in their charter that are at least as detailed as provided by the Tennessee Code annotated. That's when I got with Corey. We read the TCA code to make sure our ordinance document that we've been doing all these years does not comply completely with what they want it to look like. We have all the paragraphs and everything. They just don't like having exhibits. They want exhibits to be able to test our ordinance against our document. So if I give them an ordinance, they want to take the totals from the ordinance and match them to the budget document I sent them. So literally I spent probably a whole day with the comptroller's office making sure, like, is something wrong with the budget? Or what do you guys want? And they were like, use the template that we have on our website. Your ordinance is your budget. The attachments that we use are preliminary documents that we can send them, and they will use them for testing our ordinance against them. But they want everything from debt and capital and budget, everything in the ordinance. And that's what that document is in front of you, is what has already gone to them, compiled as a different document. And again, they reference 2023-1111. That's our original ordinance that approved our budget. That's what they've already got. This one is just replacing that one so they can have the template they want on their file per the TCA codes.
But I'll just say what I did, and it was okay the first, last month when I done it, it was okay. Wasn't nothing said,
I
so.
say yes to the template.
I think you said yes to the template last month, but
Right,
you
but
said
no to the budget.
But to the budget, yes.
Yes.
But the ordinance, if the ordinance doesn't pass, we don't have a budget. And
Regardless of the template, right?
No, we got to have a template.
the template is the ordinance.
Yeah.
So the ordinance has to pass. If the ordinance does not pass, we're
You got-
already.
And we lost our conditional approval.
Yeah, correct.
We got a
three.
third vote.
You got
Let's-
three.
Okay.
You got three, that's all you need.
Let's go.
Vice Mayor, are you changing your vote?
I said I voted yes to the template.
Okay,
And the template is good.
just
for
trying to
the
make
budget.
sure we're square.
No, I had it.
Can we make the motion again?
Let me, just to clarify, because we're going to put it in the minutes the way y'all want it to say, okay? So we are voting on ordinance 2023-117 as 1117 as presented. Yes, with the understanding that it's the template. So are you voting yes for the ordinance with I know Mr. Davis is voting yes to the ordinance, but wants to state on the record that he still does not approve the budget.
Right.
Okay, are you doing the same
Yes.
thing? Okay. So we have two votes.
We have a motion and a second. You want to do a roll
Let's
call?
do a roll call and
Okay.
let them say what they,
Okay. Bill White,
Yes.
Jacqueline Granberry,
Yes to the template and no to the budget.
Mike Davis,
and again, just to be clear, it's yes to the ordinance with the understanding that you don't.
It's the template,
like
yes,
the ordinance is the template.
Okay,
because the budget has already passed.
all right, I just want to, we have to vote on this ordinance as presented. So is that a yes to that or
Ordinance.
not?
Yes.
Okay,
Mike Davis,
I am voting for the ordinance that was sent by the comptroller's office, but I'm still a no on the budget.
okay.
so 4-0 passes.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I hate to be complicated, but I'm.
Number 7, monthly report for mayor. I want to take a moment and really thank all our employees. I know that the Public Works guys have been out, Philip with them and others at night trying to run down, figure out why this water model's not working exactly like it should. This afternoon, thanks to Kate, sent out about having that little issue with the sewer line, and I ran out right quick, and Philip, thank you for going to get them dinner, because they're still out there working on that. There was no question it was a sewer line.
Where is that located?
So I was going to have that for my report, but just, Philip, you want to just go ahead and give an
Right
update on that?
behind the plant.
Okay,
You know where all the new stuff was?
right,
Right behind it.
okay.
Want to go ahead and have them just update where we
So
are right
there's
now?
no actual
Yes.
people that's gonna.
No, it's all on our property.
It's all on our
Okay,
property.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Philip, you want to add anything to that?
Just tell us about where they are, about,
So the sewer plant, you know, the 12-inch line that goes from the plant to the lagoons, where we send overage, overfill, I don't know the proper word for it, but that line busted today. So it did leak out tremendous amount of fluid, but it's all in low-lying areas. We've diked it and dammed it. I'm going to report it to TDEC and then neutralize the soil tomorrow. So
Has anybody let Barge know yet?
no, we've been knee
Okay.
deep in.
Well, we just need to, I mean, we're in the middle of spending a whole bunch of money with them, make sure they're
But
aware of it.
we'll definitely
We
follow
appreciate it.
all the rules to TDEC and do what we need to do.
But thank y'all.
thank you, Philip.
That's some rain.
Do we know-
Michael, Philip, thank y'all for the police and the fire as well, because y'all, as I said the other day, sometimes when y'all get a call, y'all don't know what y'all are showing up to. So thank y'all. I'm not just isolating that group, but they have really been working.
Man, you know why it busted?
They were, Philip, they were explaining they were doing some,
No, ma'am, I don't know why it busted. I do know there was some camera in the area today. I don't know if that has something to do with it. But I don't know. Ted Macon,
Oh, our crews were out there doing the camera work?
there was some camera in the area today.
Okay. Well, yeah, we definitely need to let Barge know.
Yeah, we need to
because
look
just
into that a
approved-
little more,
We just
but I'm
approved
not
doing that, yeah.
Making any assumptions or
Yeah.
anything, just knowing that was different on today than it was normally.
Okay.
Is this an old line or?
No, it's the 12-inch that goes from
Fairly new.
plant to lagoon.
It's a new line.
Yeah, they-
it was fairly new. I saw it. It was fairly new line.
It's the
I thought it's the 12-inch
not
that
the trunk
goes,
line, the 18-inch trunk line?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe, maybe not. I was under the assumption there's a line that goes from the plant to the lagoons.
Didn't say
That we
that.
send.
Made in.
or,
Rainwater.
Rainwater.
Or but no, I think that one starts at the pump station on North Main.
Okay.
So I think you're probably is the area that we spent the money on the trunk line, which is why we just spent the money to have the cameras out there to make sure that it is
Was it a
functioning.
12-inch? Do you
Yeah,
remember?
it was 12.
Yeah, this is 12 today, so
Okay, so
it may not be the same thing.
Okay.
But we'll make sure.
That's why I was asking.
Made
that's-
out of?
PVC or what's it called? Plastic PVC?
It was plastic pipe.
Yeah, it was plastic or PVC.
Well, that's why I was asking, because I know we had said we was gonna send cameras in to make sure
Mm-hmm. And
everything.
this is right around the time
okay.
they're doing it.
And then this happened, so
Yeah.
that's why I was
Yeah.
trying to find out. Okay,
yeah.
thank you, Philip. Thank you,
We'll
Mayor.
obviously have a lot more information for you on that since it just happened today.
Okay.
As time goes. A couple of other things. On October the 21st, the barbecue festival that is really being hosted more by the Bass Club, the city is sponsoring it along with Main Street. And it's going to be right here on the square. And I think it will be a nice event. And thanks.
Alabama, Tennessee game.
Yeah, that's another problem.
It's 10 to 5. I don't know what time the game is, but
Before that, I'm always up here trying to watch the game on my phone. Okay.
And then
Can we get a big screen?
that was a good question. Somebody asked, and I said it's probably needed. Then the bicentennial group is working. We had another meeting last night. We've got some new committees now that are spawned off of the big group. And so you're going to be getting some phone calls from those folks, Jackie.
Yeah, I sent her a message. I was in traffic. I
You're
couldn't get
good.
here.
You're good.
Okay.
You're still on the same committees that you agreed to serve on.
I don't even know what I'm on, so I
Don't
don't.
worry, I remember I signed you.
we just keep signing you up.
So anyway, it's a lot of work going into that and a lot of thanks to a lot of people. That's all I've got. So monthly financial budget report, please, ma'am.
The financials that I sent y'all, Friday, I attached the preliminary unaudited profit and loss statement for the month of June. We closed the books in August. Audit, actually, today was their first day on site, so we're starting they've received some documents from us already over the last month as they needed them, but they're officially on site today. They started today, so I don't know how long. I think they're here 3 days this week, and then we'll probably keep scheduling days with them till they get done. Looking at the financials for June 30th, again, this does not have any audit adjustments in it yet. All of our funds look pretty good. The only one, the drug fund ended in a deficit, but as far as the funds that we were really watching, general fund had a surplus of 550,000, but again, 298 of it is the spec building money. So that's something to keep in mind. The water, gas, and parks had good surpluses as well. Water and sewer, actually, thanks to, I think, Ted and his department really controlling the expenditures where they could, we ended up with a surplus of 136,000, which we were expecting to be in a deficit on that fund. Also, we did implement our rate increases in May and did not wait till July, so I do believe that helped us some as well.
Oh, yes, $186 this month. Thank y'all very much.
Well, we can't be in a deficit, otherwise the state would take over our water and sewer, I believe. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyways,
right.
yeah. So, the water and sewer was on a surplus. After hearing what we have going on today, I'm not sure where the fund is gonna end up this year. You didn't mention that to me all day. I was like, how did I not know about this till I got here? The rest of the funds right now, if you look at the profit and loss statement for for the month of August, everything's pretty much running in a deficit right now. We're really early in the year. A lot of our July revenues are for June, especially in the general fund. So all of that does get booked back to the previous year. So July and August look pretty low as far as our profit and loss goes. But if you look at our cash report that I sent you all, I was expecting us to dip quite a bit, but we didn't as much because while we made the payment for our ARPA funds, the $1.4 million for ARPA, we did go ahead and make that payment for water and sewer last month. We also received our $1.8 million USDA loan for the next set of water and sewer payments. So even though we paid 1.4, we got 1.8 in the bank. So our cash didn't dip as much. And the rest of the stuff is just, there's nothing crazy going on right now, just our usual. And we're trying to save where we can and trying to find grants where we can with no matches.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we can find one with no matches, it's nice. But that's really all I have. If you all have any questions for me, I'm willing to answer them
Auditors
today
are
or
here
email me.
like 3 days this week, is that right?
Sorry?
Auditors are here 3
Auditors
days.
are here today, tomorrow, and Thursday, and Friday if they need to be. Next week is TGFOA, so I know a lot of the auditors and everybody goes to that, and I believe Putman and Hancock originally told me they were going to that too, so I'm thinking that's why they're trying to be with us most of this week, because I think a lot of people are going to be at TGFOA next week, so.
Any questions for Schiffer? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the monthly financial budget report as presented.
I second it.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Monthly report from city manager.
I think basically, Mayor, you kind of spoke about everything I was going to bring up, Bicentennial Barbecue Fest and what happened today with the sewer, so
Cool.
we're good.
Good. Special reports, wastewater liaison, bars design, sewer update.
The sewer update, basically, the sewer trunk line is complete. Obviously, we're going to look into what happened today. Rainy Street materials and other equipment have been ordered and waiting on delivery. And then wastewater treatment plant contractors, waiting on new electrical equipment. So we're kind of in a holding pattern at the plant. And we will just follow up with Barge on what happened today with sewer and then get back with all of you and let you know kind of their take on it. It's just kind of strange. It's all around the timing where we're doing the cammering, but we'll keep you posted on that.
Okay.
Did we find a leak over there yet?
Water? Mm-mm.
Okay.
They're looking hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I knew they was over there at night. I was just out.
All right. Gas system.
Everything's fine there. I do want you to know that we are pursuing through Murray Alliance a grant. It's a state it's a state block grant for infrastructure to help us increase the size of the meter at the gas gate out there.
Yeah.
And we're just in the early process of that. I know I've mentioned it to you before in meetings, but just kind of updating you on that.
All right. New business, resolution 2023-42, a resolution authorizing the city of Mount Pleasant to execute and enter into a subscription agreement and supporting documents in writing with Brightly Software for a
And I'm going to let
subscription.
Philip speak on this, Mayor and Commissioners. It is the same company that we are doing business with, but they are allowing us out of our current contract because we want to change the way the software is. That's pretty simply. But if you want to, because we're bringing in a different program.
Yeah, we talked about it at study session. Do
Yeah.
you have any questions about it or anything you thought about over the weekend? So basically going away from the codes portion, we reviewed it in Lewis County, Hornwall. Ted and the crew really liked what they saw. So taking their already GIS and they're overlaying with this records management. So we'll be able to do inventory, work orders, the GIS, all the way down to our trash cans and document on a digital platform and stuff. Paper.
And got rid of what we would have owed them for the other codes and allowed us to spend it on this new.
Right. Thank you, Philip. Any comments or questions? Entertain a motion.
I make a motion we pass resolution 2023-42 as presented.
Got a motion? Do we have a second? Got a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Property tax write-offs, and I think now we've got a bunch of the confusion cleared.
Corey, you want to say anything about that to make sure everybody's clear on what they're voting on?
These are uncollectible.
Very old.
Period. If they're
Property
10, 11 years
taxes.
old, you're not going to collect it.
Yeah.
The list that y'all have received before was lists for properties that were already involved in a delinquent tax lawsuit, so you could contact them. I think you've also received actual resolution to write off properties that were owned by Murray County. So this is something different. Like, we know that we can't collect past 10 years, so we don't do it. But it's still on the books. Like, if you ask them to print something off, they'll still show all these. So this is really just a housekeeping accounting issue.
Kind of back room, I call it. But we gotta be accurate.
It has to be done, and I think that's just, again, like I said, like, meet with MTS every so many months, and usually when she's here, like, hey, maybe we just go in and do this a little bit better, do it a little bit different, so.
And this is kind of cleaning up.
This is
old-
cleaned up,
old Stuff
yeah.
has already been turned over, everything's already been done with it, it's just for audit purposes, we have to keep it clean.
Sort of like your taxes, you gotta keep them for 5 years, don't throw them away
10
10 years.
Whatever the
Yeah.
number is now.
Yeah.
So I think even that's just the TCA law prohibits municipalities to collect after 10 years.
It was just something different to us.
Different, yeah.
And,
It's never been done.
yeah,
I
and,
think,
yeah, right, since I've been
Never
up here.
has.
And we got it a different, I mean, and what we was getting was different, so that was the confusion.
Yeah, that was. All right, entertain a motion to write those old property taxes off.
I make a motion to implement property tax write-off.
Got a motion, do we have a second? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. CT form for interfund loan. The loan has already been voted on and approved. This is just a form that has to be submitted to
Comptroller's office.
Comptroller's office.
Anytime you take on debt. So basically, we borrowed the money, the $500,000 from gas for some of the parks and paving projects. And this is the last part of it to get the CT form approved.
Mike?
Wait, let's say something. I guess where I'm coming from, but everything that's going on with our water situation and everything. Are we best to say these things like this right here, you know, even the downtown revitalization? Are we at a place where we should say, let's hold up and see where our water troubles are going to take us to? I'm just,
I personally don't think so. I think that what I see is that water model is going to have to be figured out, period, either way. And what we're doing right now, trying to figure out that water model, we are, for the most part, covering the cost because of what Ted and Philip and all these others are doing out here at night. I've had a pretty frank conversation with both Philip and with Ted about it. And Ted tells me that, and if you look at the overall community, it's fine out this way, it's fine up that way, it's fine back over this way. It's right here. And I think over time we'll figure it out. That's my take on it, and I'm leaving that to the people that are boots on the ground telling me that. That's not just guessing. That's the people that are, as I call it, boots on the ground.
I'm just, I guess, afraid of them needing the extra money if we need it, and then if we use it on something else, then that money,
You're talking about the
yeah, the
bond that's connected to this form?
yes, yeah. I mean, the money that we're borrowing, you know.
It's not a bond.
No, it's just the $500,000.
Borrowing from the
In a
gas.
fund.
Yeah.
The borrow.
Yeah.
And it's already been approved.
Yeah, it's been
Right.
approved.
And this one real quick is, this is $500,000 transfer from gas to general fund, so we couldn't even use it for water and sewer because it's an intermingling of funds that we cannot do, because the enterprise funds have to stay independent of each other if we cannot survive. If an enterprise fund cannot survive on the fees and charges that it does on its own, that's where we have to come back and do rate increases or look at something else that we need to do as far as fees go otherwise. So this won't even help the water and sewer
So,
at all. This is just the inter-fund loan. The other borrowing that we're doing, that resolution was in front of the commission last month. Because it was a resolution, only had one reading.
I understand that. Say if the city needed to borrow money to fix the water or even the sewer as far as that goes, can the city borrow money from the gas and pay it back?
I believe you.
We borrowed money to put
Yeah.
the sewer line in at the tile plant.
We did.
But this has already been approved. You're just
I
acknowledging
know
the debt.
that, but I mean, with all this stuff coming
Yeah.
up, Kate, I just,
So this, I know we've had these conversations over and over again, and I get where you're coming from, but there were 5 years ago, people didn't want us to apply for the downtown revitalization grant because we had so many water and sewer issues. And I just don't think we
But
can
we
remain
haven't done it.
stagnant
Right.
and not make progress and not try our best to prepare for growth and do things for the people in the community. And we need to move forward. And these are things that would be visible, that the community would see. And we had our one-on-one meetings, Schiffer pointed out all the different things we were trying to do with this 500,000. And it's, so we're just asking you to acknowledge the fact that there's debt. You've already approved the interfund loan.
And 100,000 of it is already budgeted, so in January, we're already gonna return 100,000 of it back to the gas fund, so it'll be paid over 4 years. This is the
Right.
first year already, so it's not as long-term as some of our other debt is. So that's the good part about it, that it's funding projects that are gonna be 15, 20, or 25 years, but we're gonna pay it over 5 years. And then general fund will have another 100,000 available for other expenditures.
And that
we
payment's
need.
in the
That was a
budget.
big thing that I was
Correct.
looking at, is we don't need to do this over 10 or 15 years.
Exactly.
We need to get this cleared up, get it done, move on.
And I think we need to show our citizens of Mount Pleasant that we are trying to do something for them, as far as the parks,
And paving.
pavement, just all the stuff that we need to be doing. I'm like, Kate, we can't just stay, what if. We won't never move forward.
It wasn't part of the rate study either to put this kind of a
This
loan
was
into
not
the-
part of the
yeah.
rate study for water and sewer, but yes, this is, and gas has, their capital reserve is pretty good as well, so
But I mean, we have to pay it
that's,
back.
huh,
I said, we have to pay it back.
Oh, yeah.
correct.
Oh, yeah.
If we did borrow anything from gas, we have to pay it back, just like the spec building has been such a conversation, because that was, the 150,000 was taken from gas, so. But anyways, yes, so if we did need to borrow a little bit, we probably could, but again, the approval processes that it takes with the comptroller's office, that took a while to get all that paperwork done. I had to talk to Julianne, she had to get us all the debt paperwork for it, so there's a whole schedule of things that flows with any of these processes, and you have to
Good.
pass the resolution for it.
The good news is now we've gone through that process,
We've
so
gone
if
through
we
it.
were to have a,
And they've approved the budget and looked for that 100,000, because I told them we're budgeted it already. So she said, I found it in there. So you've already got the first payment out there. I said, we're going to start paying it in 2024. So we're not carrying it for 10 years or whatever. I don't even remember what the max was, because we already said 5 was what we were going to.
Yeah.
9.
Nine,
So, yeah, we could've waited over
we
9
could do it in
years,
9, yeah.
The projects that what they want to see is you're borrowing money for projects that you're doing that are going to last longer than what you're paying it for. So all the projects that we're trying to do will definitely last past 5 years. So the useful life of all of this stuff is way more than what we're actually doing. And again, it's already done.
Okay,
Like, may I say one other thing?
yeah,
Are we all in agreement on this? If we're not, I will make a motion to defer to next month so that y'all can have your 3.
This is just the form that this form that was submitted, the resolution to do the borrowing. We brought that in June or
Okay, yeah.
July. So the borrowing is already approved and the comptroller's office has already approved it. The transfers have already been made. This is just the form. It's a formality form that when I submit it, like when they approve the debt, after they approve it, they give us 45 days to file this form with them saying, we've approved your debt. Have you made your transfers? Once I made the transfer, I submitted this form to them. So if you look at the form, it's already been submitted to the comptroller's office. It's required by them that the commission sees it on their next agenda.
And the money's already in our general
The
fund.
money's already in the general fund.
And what was the vote when that took place?
I'd have to go back and look, but I don't think it was any issue.
You wouldn't.
it wasn't.
Because the budget was approved, the budget had the 100,000 in it as well to fund these projects. And I think when we met with commissioners in their meetings as well, everybody told us, and I think you asked for Gray Lane to be part of this project, and
Yeah.
it is.
So
Yeah, the
again,
paving of the Gray Lane you
Gray
had
Lane.
mentioned, and I think you had talked to Ted about that in the
right,
public
but that's
meeting.
what I'm saying. The more and more I think about it and the issues we're having now, I'm sorry.
But
I just don't want to.
It's already been done.
I know that, but I don't want to put another burden on the city.
We should have voted, you should have voted no to that.
To that.
When it came across the table.
Yeah.
We're here now just to accept this form.
Yeah, the
Nothing more.
form has
Nothing else.
nothing to do
The
with.
money's been
Yeah,
done, been
everything's already
transferred.
done.
We can't go back 2 months to redo it. It's
This
already
is the
passed.
final step for the comptroller's office to just.
we almost have this form on our agenda every month.
Yeah,
'cause we're doing
for
something,
Some sort
yeah.
of debt.
Yeah.
The leases have to have the same form. for you.
Even car
Last month,
leases.
I voted no.
You asked for Gray Lane to be paid.
Yeah, you asked for Gray and it's on there.
Here we had a motion, Bill.
I said I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept the CT
Form.
form. Yes.
Got a motion, we have a second. I'll second it. Roll call.
Bill White,
Yes.
Jacqueline Granberry,
I voted yes to the form, but I voted no to the debt last month, and I'm voting no to that this month.
Mike Davis,
Same here.
Willie Alderson.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Johnson's absent. So passes.
Okay. Local government permitting software proposal.
You all are aware, Mayor and Commissioners, that we already use local government pretty exclusively for most of our software, but there is a permitting software that we want to pick up that is something that fortunately Chris is very used to operating with, and I feel like I'm going to say this wrong. I know the annual use is $4,585, but what's the initial cost?
Correct me on this, but I think it's 11,000.
Oh, and the attachments in the packets is 11,266.
But then after that, it's
4,585.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but between this and the Brightly, everything is within the budget.
Yes, we're gonna make everything work in the budget because the Brightly's gonna get split in 5 ways. And then this one's in the general fund, and this is where we had already budgeted $16,000 for Brightly. So,
And I think, Chris, you've used it for about 6 years or so,
About 3.5 years.
oh, okay, okay.
All right.
Okay, so we're paying 11,026 starting out, and then after that, every year it's gonna be 4,585.
and this amount is.
The setup fee is what's costing you.
And this
the
amount's
first
gonna go
year.
down as well, because if you look at this proposal, it's from August the 8th. So the 4,585 is the annual cost. If you prorate it over 12 months, they'll only bill us for the number of months we actually use it. So this amount is the higher estimated amount that they gave us. The implementation cost is part of it. The 4,585, that's part of this, will go down because we didn't use it for 12 months. So I did talk to them about that already when they first sent us this proposal.
But okay, but what I'm saying for this year, it's gonna be 11,266,
It'll be a little bit less than that.
a little bit less.
Yes, it depends on
Because it
how.
won't be 12 full
yes.
months.
Because again, the proposal was from August the 8th. The 4,585 is part of the 11,266.
Right.
And so that's for 12 months. So July, August, and September, we haven't used the
It'll start in
software. So
October,
if you
basically.
split it over 12 months, it'll go down.
Okay,
Yeah, so it's just the proration of a bill. It will go down because it won't be, they've given us an annual amount for the implementation and the software use. But the software use going forward, a 12-month period, is 4,585.
okay, that's what I'm saying. So in the next 12 months, it'll be 4,000.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
4,585.
Okay, that's all I'm asking. Thank you.
All right,
I make a motion that we accept the local government meeting software proposal.
got a motion, do we have a
As
second?
presented.
Got a second? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Bond Street change order.
We talked about this at the study session, and Philip, again, I'm going to ask you to speak on it. It's about the lighting, and it's basically, we're going to pay for it in the change order, but we're getting the money back, we're getting the lights back. So we feel like we're not losing money, but it does change the contract, so we have to have a change order.
Mayor, Commissioners, the way I understand it is that it has to work through the current contract. There was a snag with the designer on the lights. They designed it for a drop ceiling, it's sheet rock. With that being said, that it worked out that it's like $2,700. She'll correct me on that. But we have to pay that, and then our designer will pay that back to us after. So the change order, but it's not a change order, but they're telling us that's the way it has to proceed. to
And
move forward.
typically that amount of money, I can sign off on it and don't even need the approval, but you're changing the contract,
Changing
so
the
we always like to bring that in front of you guys.
All right. Entertain a motion on the change order.
Mayor, motion for the change order is presented on the Bond Street.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Uh-huh.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now then, this is where we go to the sewer model, which
Everybody
Kate
has
had
a
provided to us when you got here in paper
Mayor,
form.
Commissioners, you know that Matthew was here and kind of went over that, the study session. We have our water model going, we have our gas model going, we have stormwater model going. This is the last of our utilities. We don't have a stormwater utility yet, but we have that study going on right now. And this is the last that we need to get into place. And so that we can answer questions from developers, growth, or anything about what our sewer can do. I mean, in general, we as a city are not going to get out of just constantly having to pay for things for sewer and water. It's just the nature of the beast.
Nature of the
But,
beast.
Nature of it. Yep.
that's what's in front of you, and basically you're just giving us the permission to move forward on this, and this is something that we've earmarked out of the bond issue to pay for.
All right. Entertain a motion to accept the sewer model proposal.
I make a motion to accept the sewer model proposal.
Got a motion, do we have a second? I'll second it. All those in favor? Aye.
I'm still confused, but okay.
Okay, so of what the model will do, or what's your questions? I'm happy to answer them, or try to answer them.
No, I understand this is supposed to help us with the stormwater drainage.
No, this is nothing. This is
Okay.
all sewer.
Also,
Yeah. I'm just saying, we have a model for water right now, not working, but we have one. We have a gas model that's about complete. We have been doing a model for stormwater. We don't have a model for sewer. So those are 4 different basic utilities that once we have a model, we can answer a lot of questions on. And we can't really approve what's next until we know how the system works. And these are things that should have been done, quite some time ago. All of these models are. And then you just keep them up to date once you have them.
Like Mike said at the study session, we behind time.
I go along with that too, but my thing is the cost. Is it gonna cost everybody in Mount Pleasant, or is it just gonna cost people with sewage?
It is coming out of the, everybody that has sewer is in the city limits.
Yes.
We have water customers outside the city limits, but not sewer.
but not so.
Everybody in Mount Pleasant don't have sewage.
No, but if you are a sewer customer, you are in the city limits.
Right.
And if they don't have sewer, they're not getting a sewer bill.
That's what I'm talking about. I do.
Okay, Mike?
Okay.
Can you tell us, I guess, where we at right now, I guess, dollar wise on our sewer project? Is it,
I mean, which project? We've got,
Yeah, which one do you want
Yeah,
to
we
talk
got
about?
100
we're talking
projects.
about the total?
I'd say we are awfully
What's it called?
close, because the good news is when we had to go back and get the additional grant, and the additional loan, that's where we already knew what the price was.
all right, this is on top of that. This is on top.
This model
Yeah.
is different than that whole project, but the whole project is, yes, it's moving along, it's within what we had originally set forth, because
I'm
that's the
afraid to just
reason.
pull out a
If
figure
you
off the top
remember,
of my
we
head.
had to,
Well, that's what
we
I
had to back out of that
This is on
contract.
top of that.
Okay, please. We had to, if you remember, we had to come back and get additional grants and additional loans because the bid came in so much higher. So all that bid was with the cost increase from what we have started seeing in supply line issues and all that other,
So,
I call it stuff.
So it was still at close to 20?
8, well, with Rainy
I'm talking about
Street,
everything.
No, I don't think it was that high.
I think-
I don't throw a number out without us having that as something that we can give you, but that's all already funded.
That's fine. Well, I know that, but I was just curious what, you know.
I don't want to, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, you know, all the money that you spent on the sewer, that's to improve the system.
Yes,
This is so that you can use the system.
yes.
that's
yes,
correct.
This is so
yes.
you can, when somebody comes in and says, I would like to build a subdivision at this place,
Right. You
they can
use it.
analyze how much sewer is needed, what kind of pipes, what
New
flow,
industry in Cherry Glen.
all those
that
kind of
stuff.
things, and they
Yeah.
we can answer those questions. We have this letter of availability that people apply for. You know, it's been a hold up in planning commission level for a
Right.
couple projects on water. Currently, right now, what I think I heard Matthew say is we can answer these questions manually, but this is to build a system, just like these other programs that we have, that you can plug in what they want,
Right, I
and we can answer the question. So it's not a sewer improvement, it is a system to help use it, is that right? Is
That's
that,
exactly right.
Okay.
That's
If
exactly
you-
right.
If you don't have the model, so the gas model, they have that completed and they're able to say, if you're going to add this business,
You know
gas
it can
model
take the
turns
flow.
red.
It
Yeah,
can take the
yeah,
flow.
it can take it
I
or it can't.
understand.
And if it can't, where do you need a new line or how do you need to increase the
I
size?
understand.
Same
that.
with water, same with sewer. And like I said, I believe many, many years ago, a model was done in water and it was just never kept up. So all of it, this is just the last of the models that we need to have done.
okay.
All right.
I think everybody was right.
I think,
Thank you.
I think I heard everybody say yes. Now, am I-
No, I know, I can do roll call. I know we had a motion.
Do a
and
roll
second.
call.
Roll call, please.
Bill White,
Yes.
Jacqueline Granberry,
Yes.
Mike Davis,
Yes.
Willie Alderson,
Yes.
and Miss Johnson's absent.
All right. No, we had nobody sign up to make any comments, so I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion and second. Okay.
All righty, everybody have a great rest of the evening.